always come back.
Hi, this is a more casual type of video and a casual Danerade here speaking, and I'm here to commemorate the 1-year anniversary of how Plants vs. Zombies 3 is broken, and the fact that we hit 30,000 subscribers. Thank you guys a lot. This will be a very just casual and completely unscripted. I only have a couple bullet points in front of me of just key things to talk about, like some of the videos and all that stuff. But I wanna start off by thanking all of you for you know, getting this far. I didn't imagine this at all. Very stereotypical response. I totally get it. But it was really the YouTube algorithm. It's a miracle, honestly. Just throwing me a bone, and that's really special. Seriously. But yeah, I've been doing this for 1 year. I mean, I've been doing YouTube before this, but like anything before March 14th doesn't count, so. But yeah, I'm gonna be going kind of in a rough chronological order sort of deal, where I'll be talking about different videos, and oh, hello, eBay sent me an email. I'll be going in sort of a chronological order approach, where I'll be going over each video and talking about a lot of personal anecdotes or behind the scenes. I have a lot to talk about, and I really wanted to share them. And yeah, and if you don't like this video, I made a poll on my server asking if they wanted this, and by a huge landslide they said yes. So if you don't like this video and don't want to see this in the future, then join my server and vote no next time. Alright, to start off with, we have the where it all started, Plants vs. Zombies 3 video. I had no idea what I was doing, and I think it shows. Of course, the best part is the Kind Master watermark. No one can forget that. But I'm not even kidding, to where I asked my friends, you know, oh, I should really upload a video. Well, what should it be? And I was in like a group chat, and the 2 responses I got was, make a Smash Bros. Montage, another one, and the second one was why PvZ 3 is bad. And that's because my friend, who I'll mention him later, he's been a huge help with the channel. But he helped me get PvZ 3 running because, you know, it was a, what do you call it? You know, it was a soft launch in only select countries. And I wasn't actually gonna do it. I didn't want to go through the time and effort because the game looked really bad. But he went and made a Filipino Apple ID, and I was like, he's like, do you want to use it? And I said, you know what, sure. So anyways, I downloaded the game, and I did not like it, and he said make a video on it. And if it weren't, I didn't even think about it, but if it weren't for that suggestion, you wouldn't be listening to me right now. So to my friend that's watching, thank you. But anyways, back to the video itself. Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. This, you know, I had never made a video like this before, and I still respect it a lot because I had, right, I put all I had in it. You know, I you know, put as much effort as I could at the time, right? Obviously, Kind Master, when you're editing on a phone, like, your thumbs get really sore. I remember staying up, like, really late some nights, just editing it. Like, I kid you not, if, like, the aspect of editing it on a phone just added, like, so much more time to the editing process, because on a computer, it's just so much faster. But anyways, yeah, edited on Kind Master, and it reached 1 million views. That's another accomplishment. This is my first video to ever hit 1 million views, and that was really big. That was a huge moment. That actually happened quite recently, I think in the past couple of weeks, as of recording this. But that was huge, seriously. It's honestly crazy to me, seriously. But I don't want to go over the mushy emotional stuff. Let's get into the cool nitty-gritty stuff. But anyways, yeah, Kind Master has the watermark. I didn't pay to remove it. I know a lot of people use like APK and illegal stuff, but no, I just went with the free stuff. Though it was funny because a lot of the comments are like, "Oh my gosh, this is really good for Kind Master standards." But yeah, I remember very vividly just in the first few days, it hit like 1,000 views, and then 2,000 and 3,000. I was like telling my parents, I'm like, well, what's going on here? You know, because the only other big video was the Adventures of Pea Shooter and Sunflower, and we all know how great that video is. But anyways, yeah, it was exciting, and then one day it just all went up. It just went straight up. The views skyrocketed, and I knew right there. I was like, I have to. This is a sign. Honestly, this is a sign, and I've stuck with it the entire time. I've stuck with YouTube, and I think that was a super smart decision on my part. Good job, me. Actual editing the video, there's nothing super fun. You know, there's no fun side stories really. I mean, it was my first video. Like I said, didn't really have anything. Didn't have anything exciting to during it, but I'll more mention the aftermath of it. And one of the more interesting things is the fact that some people in the PvZ community already know about this, but PopCap announced, and it's currently down right now, that they took down the PvZ 3 servers and I don't know their exact wording off the top of my head, but I think they said like reimagining or redoing. Their wording was a little vague. I don't know how much they're gonna if they're gonna fix it or remake it from the ground up. But I'm gonna be completely honest. I think my video had to do with that, because PopCap is not dumb. They are not dumb. They go on YouTube. They look at people's videos. They watch people's reactions. And when you look up Plants vs. Zombies 3 and the first video, not first, that's a lie. Scott's first. The second video, typically second or third. For this case, we'll say second. The second video that pops up is a video basically trashing your game. That's a bad sign. That's really early on. And another thing that had to do with the success of that video is that no one had reviewed that game at that point. It was something that I felt that it was an untapped market. And that was a really smart part on my end. But yeah, that's a really bad sign. But yeah, I don't really feel bad about it, because I still hold my opinions and think that the game was bad. I don't want PopCap to go out of business or anything, but the world needs to know about bad games, right? The truth hurts sometimes. That's all I gotta say. But I really hope they restructure it. And I know some people were expecting a PvZ 3 video, but I'm waiting for any opinions, maybe, for when they happen to re-release it. I'm waiting for I want to give them time, right? I don't want to judge the game again and be like, oh, 1 year later, let's see. I know they added some updates, but I'm gonna respect the developers and see how they can improve the game. For anything else criticism related, I know obviously there was backlash. Not everyone. I'm not even just talking about I mean, most people agreed that the game looked bad, but some people call my video trash, which I mean, I don't blame them. I didn't get the best reception from the PvZ community. You'd be surprised. Couple Discord servers I'm in, you can, I look at these things. I read comments. I'm in the know. That's my point. But yeah, I'll flash a couple examples on screen. Not mostly comments, there's too many comments to go through. I might flash a couple comments, I don't know. But, yeah, it wasn't all positive, but, I mean, that's to be expected. One last bit I wanted to mention about the PvZ 3 video is that some people were mentioning that I had teased a penny. I get these comments every once in a while that I had teased a Penny's Pursuit video and they want that. But that was me just kind of naming off that could be a video for another day, not saying it was gonna happen. And even then, I don't really have a lot to add. It's kind of just a really stereotypical grindy mobile game mode, so not making a video on that. I'm sorry if you wanted that. Anyways, moving on now to the Plants vs. Zombies Brutal Mode streams. I'm gonna go over this just very briefly and quickly, because this was a, you know, big element to my channel in the beginning. It was a little rough because I used a really bad microphone, but it was really fun. It was really wholesome. I still think all my streams are wholesome, but I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people were like, "Don't play Brutal Mode, Danerade," and I get that. I know ItzP gave up on it, but I like hard games, and even though it was a little painful, I actually don't regret my experience with it. And of course, the EA mod. I don't know if any of you know this, but I modified a lot of the textures to be EA-ified, and I mean, they don't all look great. You know, I wasn't good at photo. Like now, I can confidently say I'm somewhat good at photo editing. Like I know what I'm doing, right? I have to make all the thumbnails myself. Back then, I didn't really know what I was doing, but some of them honestly look pretty funny. Some of them look really good. Some of the zombies I did, but and there's another thing. You know, I streamed a lot more back then, and recently I always say I want to stream more. It's just it's hard. My quote unquote streaming setup, I had to like transform my whole room, and it's not ideal in the slightest. So that's why. And you know, on the weekends, right? I mean, I go to school, and like the weekends I work on video. Like basically, if I stream, that's like I like a complete. Not waste of a day, but like I don't work on a video that day at all because of preparing, then the stream, then cleaning up, and then taking a chill pill because talking for 3 hours is exhausting. But anyway, and then we beat Brutal Mode. We actually beat Brutal Mode. That's the last thing I want to mention. It only took like 3.5 hours, but we beat it. But yeah, those are the Brutal Mode streams. That's all I really wanted to mention. Next video, Luigi's Mansion video, talking about why Luigi's Mansion 3 and 2 aren't as good as the first one, which is a very stereotypical opinion, but I didn't really explain this a lot, but Luigi's Mansion 3 is very beautiful, but the gameplay is really not that good. I know a lot of people say the first game's gameplay isn't good, but like the controls, oh my, it's so perfect. I don't know what it is, like, it's so good. But like 2 and it's like the slam move, it's just so bad. Like it makes the game so mindless. That's another side tangent of mine. But the video itself, audio and editing was much improved. I learned a lot from the PvZ 3 video. I mean, it's not perfect, but like it's way better. Still made it with KindMaster though, so you know, it's all relative. It was a fun video to make. You know, I like Luigi's Mansion, right? And I still do this, right? I just like to make videos on games I like or I'm interested in. And, you know, it was fun. Though, back to the better audio and editing thing. With the editing, and this, I noticed this with basically all my videos made with KindMaster. Because you're editing on a phone, it's hard to tell, like, how loud or quiet the music should be. And it wasn't until I wore headphones with these videos that I realized how loud the music could be. Like, especially in the PvZ 3 video. I think it's like the Graze the Roof piano. It's just like blasting. I mean, you can still hear my voice. But it's just sometimes like blasting in the background. That's, you know, phone speakers. You know, when you're only listening through those set of speakers. And it's not, you know, phone speakers aren't anything revolutionary. It's really hard to tell. It kind of all sounds muddied and together, and you know, you can't really tell. And especially if I'd quiet it down, it sounded too quiet, which in reality it actually wasn't quiet because it was just through phone speakers. But yeah, that's a problem with all the KindMaster videos, but that should be fixed now. That's a problem I still kind of have though, how loud or quiet the music should be, because not everyone listens through headphones. Because if you listen through headphones, it's perfect, but sometimes, you know, if you're listening through a speaker, sometimes the music in my videos can be like a little too quiet. I'm still learning the ropes of that. We're getting there. Anything else revolving around the video? Again, some of these earlier videos I don't have like a whole lot to talk about. I say that as we are like what, 15 minutes into the audio right now. Let's see. Oh, yep, 15 minutes. There we go. Yeah, we're only on the second video. Gosh, I talk a lot. I like the next level games joke. That was really funny. I still think that's funny. My timing, I mean, it could be better, but like I thought the cutoff and the timing, that was funny. And more importantly, the origins of the Discord plugin can be found in this video. As like I have this transition where it's like, if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing. I didn't have a Discord server, but this is the roots. This is the start. This is the beginning of the end right here. And oh, the last point I wanted to mention was the interesting thing that stands about this video is I mentioned a counterpoint, you know, and effective writing, you know, you mentioned the counterpoint. I did that this time. I used the YouTube channel Exo Paradigm Gamer. He makes extremely long, in-depth reviews, which they're cool. They're cool. I think his Luigi's Mansion video was kind of bad and not researched. Okay, it wasn't bad. None of his videos are really well, if you go back far enough. His videos aren't bad. I don't think he really understood Luigi's Mansion, but I don't know. What do I know? But you know, mentioning the counterpoint was interesting. I like that I did that. And that's really it for the Luigi's Mansion video. Okay, 2 videos down. We're going to the Paper Mario video next. The general Paper Mario, yeah, I've made 2 so far. This was the first video. I went to a Target and I bought an iTunes gift card, and I paid to remove the Kind Master watermark, even though I only used it for like 2 more videos, I think. I removed to get rid of it. And it's funny because I got an email just a couple days before I recorded this saying like, you know, hey, your Kind Master subscription is about to be renewed, because I bought like a year's worth, and I was like, oh my, we've come so far, haven't we? Anyways, no Kind Master logo. I did something I never did after this was like the transitions. I had like in the video, right? I talked about each game, and you had like the game, and you had like the release day and fun fact. I didn't ever do that ever again, but that was kind of a cool idea. I don't know. By this time, I really started to get the swing of things. I understood. You know, I was like, I'm gonna do reviews. I'm gonna do it. But you know, what else? I'm just, you know, I'm rambling on. I get that. I mentioned this is very casual video. But anyways, what else? Oh yeah, this. So I mean, I had to do this for a while, but you know, it wasn't all my. I had to get footage from elsewhere, right? And it wasn't my own. And you had to get footage elsewhere. And sometimes, because YouTube you can add the little watermark on the bottom right, sometimes I had to like crop that out. That looked kind of weird. I don't know why I wanted to mention that. Also, if you look at, there's in the video, there's a joke, and it says, it's talking about Paper Mario Sticker Star, and it said 0, and it's like 0 out of 10. And then it transitions into Paper Jam, and I think the song's called Big Bang. So I'm gonna play that clip right now. 0 out of 10. Okay, so now that you've watched that clip, then we're gonna go to the Mario 3D All-Stars video, and something interesting happens in that video. There are girl penguins in this game? 10 out of 10. So, I completely accidentally basically made the same joke and used the same theme, and I didn't realize it until I rewatched all these videos. It's a fun little tidbit. I thought that was really funny to mention. And for anything else related to the video, audio was very inconsistent because I recorded in like 3 different rooms. I usually record my audio in one recording session, so my voice sounds, you know, the same throughout the whole video. But not this video. No, I was very smart. And other things, Color Splash. I mentioned a quote like defending Color Splash. I'm really conflicted with Color Splash. Because we have a lot to go over. The TLDR is that it's very pretty and is probably the funniest Paper Mario game, but the gameplay is it's bad. Yeah, it's bad. I don't know. It's hard to describe that game because there's a lot of really good elements and a lot of really bad elements. And for the final thing, I feel like I've said that a lot. Oh, for the final thing. Anyways, that was when Paper Mario the Origami King got announced, and that's when, and I was mentioning like, oh, they're bringing back partners. Haha. silly Danerade. Okay, Cuphead video. Not gonna mention a lot here. The only thing is that a lot of people don't realize this was still made with KindMaster. We still haven't moved on. And the reason is because I actually recorded my own footage on this one. I got an Elgato by this point. Yes, that does mean I had to record these giant file sizes on my computer, put them on my phone, and, you know, record it there, which is why a lot of the game, a lot of the video files are reused so much because I had to record in like 30-second intervals because of how big the file sizes were. And that's actually another philosophy I carry in with a lot of my videos. I don't like to reuse the same video clips. It's such a pet peeve of mine, but I really like to make every scene. I mean, if I might repeat them a couple times for specific reasons, but I don't like repeating the same clips over and over and over again. But anyways, this was also the first. This is when I announced my Discord server. That was pretty exciting. That was a huge step because I didn't want to make a Discord server initially, and I'm so happy I did because you should join the server. It's really fun, seriously. It's also grown to be quite big, and that really surprised me, especially as of now. But yeah, that was pretty exciting. As a game itself, I still love Cuphead. Arguably one of my favorite indie games. Well, okay, PvZ is an indie game too, but kinda. I don't know if that is considered indie. It probably is because, I mean, PopCap like published it, but it was made by like yeah. Anyways, Cuphead, I really like the game still, and yeah. With a couple key points within the video itself, there was a scene where it's like Danerade fan, and I've had a couple friends of mine take that out of context and send me a screenshot because in some it just looks weird out of context. That was a little weird. And the ending joke, again, here's another redeeming joke. I like the ending joke a lot, where it's kind of like it's got like the Friends theme, you know, and it's just like, oh, you know, what is this? Sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends and funded by, I think, like Chinese government. That was funny. But yeah, not a lot to mention. This was kind of just a, you know, short little fun video. But now we're transitioning to the ECLISE video. So this video was definitely my most requested, especially, you know, I even mentioned this in the video as a joke. But yeah, a lot of times in the comments it was like, just play ECLISE, just play ECLISE. I'm now realizing this as I read my bullet points. In the title, you're supposed to, you know, in the name ECLISE, you're supposed to, every letter is supposed to be capitalized, and I now realize in the title, I don't think I did that. Sorry about that. But anyways, this video was kind of a pain because the first minute or so was edited with another edit. You know, this was when I realized I'm gonna edit with something on like a PC because I'm sick and tired of my thumbs getting sore. And so I was gonna edit it on PC, and I did. And I used another editing software for like the first minute, and like I hated it. It took so long. Like the minute, I took like 3 or 4 hours just, I don't know. It was so slow. It couldn't render. It was so bad. I don't remember what it was because I think I deleted it off my computer, which is why that first intro was edited kind of weird and just looks really rough and bad, and the audio is all glitchy. But yeah, what I ended up doing is then I got a free trial for Adobe Premiere Pro, and that's what I still use. I absolutely love it. I didn't really know how to use it that much, which is why that video is mostly just cuts, which is all you really need. But I got a free trial, and I edited it all within a week, and I still use Adobe today. It's very expensive, but if you're willing to invest, I would highly recommend it. And this video was a huge bump up in quality, in my opinion. You know, just the editing software alone. I started to get better with my audio. I haven't mentioned this yet, but I recorded all my audio on a phone, which sounds extremely dumb, but it's so cost effective. Like, people don't realize that you have to use what you have around you effectively, and I think that was a smart move. It was smart move. I mean, it didn't sound great, don't get me wrong, and I'm recording ever since the 3D All-Stars video. I've been recording in a different room, because the back room where I edit is just so open to where the audio bounces around everywhere. It's bad. I don't like to record audio in there. But, yeah, this was a huge bump up in quality. You know, the footage, right? Involving the footage, I just mentioned this a couple minutes ago about not repeating clips, and I had to get very specific clips of very specific things. So I remember I had this huge sheet of paper. I think I definitely don't have it because I threw it away. So I don't think I have a photo of it. But it was like all these bullet points of all like the little things I needed, and that was really hard and painful. But like, it was very worth it just to get. Because a big thing that I love doing, which I think really any reviewer should do, is have what you're talking about be on screen, right? You know, have that visual element to not just audio, but visuals. And I think that proved very effective in this video. And as for anything else, a lot of people found ECLISE through my review. Seriously, in the ECLISE Discord server, there's plenty of people that's like, I watched a review, you know, some paper Bowser guy profile picture. I don't know who he is, and someone's like Danerade, and like, yeah, that guy. Seriously, I think it's my second biggest video on the channel, actually. So yeah, you know, I'm happy that people found the mod through it. I know there's some debate and drama. I think I don't really follow it, but regarding the mod, the quality of the mod itself, it's good. I really liked it. I'm being honest. It's not perfect. Apparently, we're gonna get there with some of the criticism I got. But some people like to hold that mod in high regard, like it's one of the greatest things made on this planet. It is not. I'm sorry, but we'll get there eventually. Good P2 commented on it like within an hour. I don't know if he knew that it was gonna come out beforehand, but yeah, he commented on it, which that was cool. That was really cool. That really made my day. I was on vacation during this video. I think I made it all before a week it came out because I was gonna go on vacation, and you know, and then it came out and I was like at lunch or something, and then yeah, Good P2 commented on it, and I was like, nice. You know, said some good things, said some criticism points, which we'll get to eventually. That was pretty cool. Oh, and then right before I came back from vacation, I hit 10K subs, which was mainly part of that video because that video blew up really quickly. So thank you. That was a huge moment. Okay, we're finally getting to the comments now. All right, the comments were so. Some people, I'm gonna go off the top of my head. Some people didn't like the fact that, what is it? I obviously criticized some parts of it. The main thing was, I think, was what 11.6 set war with the Gargantuars and stuff. And a lot of people was like, get good. And honestly, I still kind of agree with my point. Like, spamming Gargantuars and Sandstorms and putting them halfway through the middle of the field. Like, is that fair? Like, is that really fair? That's up for debate, I guess. But I don't know if that's really fair. That just seems like more on Kaizo level tiers. So, there's that. There were other things, like, that I complained about. Oh, well, here was something that people complained about, that I didn't put sunflowers in the back. What I actually did during my playthrough, I was just dumb and I didn't record myself playing the game. So I made a comment about this, but basically I'd go through a level, like halfway through, just play it. I wouldn't play it to beat it all the way. I'd record like in the middle of it for like 30 seconds or a minute, and then I'd exit the level and call it a day. But I actually did play Sunflowers in the back. But yeah, some people were not happy. You know, they were like, oh, you know, screw modern day. You like modern day? Well, screw that. But you know, I'll say this though. In the newest update, I saw a trailer. In the newest update, Good P2 added restarts to secret levels, and you can play them on the map. Those are huge, and lowered the costs of upgrading plants. Like those three of my criticisms, boom, like fixed. And I'm not necessarily saying I had to deal with that. But honestly, you know what? Good for them, right? Good P2 and even like Mind Power, good for them for at least you know, I'm gonna perceive this as it's probably not just me, but I mean they took my criticism and fixed it. So that was actually really exciting that they, in their newest update, they fixed that. So yeah, seriously, 3 huge criticisms, boom, fixed. And the only other things regarding the video that I'd like to mention is that there was a weird, some of the editing styles and even how I record is sometimes not really homages, but really parallels very subtly with some other YouTubers I've watched. And there was a case with when arrows were flickering with the plants, and that was kind of a reference to Go Motion. Go Motion makes like FNAF videos, and she's pretty funny to me in a lot of cases. And another thing is kind of the flickering. She's used like flickering arrows by my memory. That was kind of a weird, like, I guess, reference or something. And the final thing I'll mention is the Zach Scott clip resonated with a lot of people. And I'm really happy about that, because when I found that, like, and that didn't immediately jump in my mind when I was editing the video. I didn't go like, oh man, I remember the first episode when Zach Scott didn't like the microtransactions. I kind of just happened to find that. And I think it proved my point very well, because it showed how, you know, just like an actual, you know, real player, their genuine reaction to the microtransactions in the original, you know, kind of sad. But yeah, that was, whoa, there's one more thing that popped in my mind. No. This is where the modern Discord plugin first came. This video right here, I used the Paper Mario the Origami King Red Streamer battle theme, and that right there cemented the fact that every Discord plugin has to use Paper Mario the Origami King music. It has to. Cannot be the same without it. But yeah, the modern Discord plugin comes from here. And this is where the color wars start. This is the beginning right here, seriously. But anyways, I had to mention that. Alrighty, we're moving on to the PvZ versus mode video. This was kind of, I'm gonna put in quotes, filler video, because the next video was supposed to be the Paper Mario the Origami King video. But that video was kind of falling behind schedule, and it was taking a while, and all that stuff. So this was here for its replacement. I think I edited it in 4 days, which sounds impressive, but it was summer. I mean, it is still, but you know, summer break, and I had a lot of time on my hands. But this was really fun to edit. I'm gonna be honest, this is my favorite video to rewatch. Like, it's so fun. It's just so fun in my opinion. It was my first attempt at, like, quote-unquote heavy editing, and it's not perfect, but I think it taught me a lot about Adobe Premiere Pro. You know, I started to become a lot, you know, because I only used it for one other video, which was the ECLISE video. And going forward, I felt more comfortable with it, and especially now, like, I feel really comfortable with it. I still feel like I'm tipping the, you know, I'm only tipping the iceberg and the possibilities. But yeah, you know, I think it turned out well. This video was the introduction of the Wilsons, Woodrow Wilson, Andrew Wilson, Basketball Wilson, all of them. And it's funny because, so, right, we have the lore now, which there will be no lore reveals. Sorry, don't get your hopes up. But, you know, this was, I guess, the start of the lore. And the lore wouldn't have happened if it weren't for all the people in my Discord server over analyzing the scene with the, you know, with the Wilsons. It was supposed to be a joke at first, right? And people started to, like, really get into it. And just for that fact alone, I thought, you know, if people are, like, actually, you know, think this is funny and they're invested into it, why don't I lean into it a little more? And that's why we have lore. Just gonna say it now. That's the reason right there. And I think that's kind of a funny reason. I don't know. You know, right? If my viewers like something, then just do it. Just do it. So anyways, that was really fun to do. So the video and, you know, the Wilson specifically, and the editing, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not great either. You know, you could call it above average. But it's just fun to watch. I love rewatching that video. You know, it's just five or 6 minutes, just a quick little video. And, yeah, I don't have anything else really to add on it. Just fun video overall. Okay, next video is the Paper Mario the Origami King video. I had been wanting to make this video basically since the Origami King was announced. And, it was interesting because it was the video topic itself was foreshadowed in the last video, the PvZ versus video, and I even said it in the description, where you know, because most of the music, not all, but like most of the music in the last video was Paper Mario the Origami King music. I think in the description I said something like, I wonder why. And but anyways, that's a fun little tidbit. This was definitely my biggest project by far, right? You know, solid, what, 30 minutes and all. And I thought it turned out decently well, right? It's not perfect, you know. I got a little burnt out, not gonna lie. 30 minutes is a lot. It's a lot of time. But you know, you had the intro, right? What's interesting about the intro is that I had the idea for it while on vacation, and I had it, like, perfectly planned out. I listened to that song, I would say, at least 50 times, and I had an idea for it. I had the right vision for it. And it's just not perfect, right? But it's very wholesome. The intro is very wholesome. And it's not like I had the money to, like, invest in something really big, like the art piece you're looking at right now. But anyways, you know, it was very, very wholesome, and I like that part of it. Another weird thing, I want to kind of talk about some of the little tidbits within the video itself. The duplicate scene in the beginning, I don't know what I was thinking. I tried to make it all creepy and weird, and even though the transition was smooth itself, you know, going into like that black corridor, but like, it's just weird. And another thing is that, you know, how did I make that creepy duplicate? You know, kind of looks like, was it like Ben Drowned? I don't know. It kind of, you know, looks like kind of creepypasta-y. I just did some really funky editing, and I'm sure if I pulled up Adobe Premiere Pro, I could learn the exact, you know, like contrast or all that stuff I used, but I just edited it a lot. And I mean, it looked creepy, so like, mission accomplished. And another thing with that scene, man, we're talking about a lot of things with that scene, is that here's a tip I have for a lot of people when they ask me about starting a YouTube channel and any editing tricks. When starting out, right, you know, you're not gonna know everything. You're not gonna know how to do anything, and I didn't know how to do like a lightning effect, right? I've used it recently before, but not before this video. I've used it recently, but I didn't know how to do a lightning effect. And my tip for new people is to really be creative with what you know and what you have. So for this case, I basically took a plain white image and like would change the opacity of it to give it that like lightning strike effect, but it wouldn't be a straight line like 0 to 100 and then like, you know, 100 to 0. I think it was something like, it went from like 0 to like a 35 and 100, and then sharp down to like a 25, and I don't know. You know, I played around with it a little bit, But I mean, it gave it the effect, right? It gave it the lightning effect, and obviously just look up, like, I don't know, lightning sound effect, and boom, there you go. And that right there is a really good testament, I think, to the idea of, you know, being creative and, you know, trying to work around your problems instead of just be like, oh, that's too complex, you know, I'll do something simpler. Hey, you know, think, right? What can I do in this situation? But yeah, so that was cool. Another thing is that the font choice I would use in my videos was kind of all over the place. And I mentioned this because, again, the Dupla scene has the, I think it's called Series Orbit font, which I used for a bit, but I don't know, it looks fine. But I ended up settling, I don't know what video it was specifically, but I ended up settling on Era's Bold Italicized. That's the font I used, if you were wondering. I think it looks nice, so that's what I'm sticking with for now. I might change it later, but yeah, we're getting there. Within the editing and all that stuff, editing is fine. Audio is still kind of bad. Still using my phone. Still hadn't invested in a microphone at this point. I noticed going back to these older videos, the humor is different from now. I still didn't know what direction I wanted to take, and it's interesting. It's interesting to see the evolution I had in a lot of these videos. I think this one is a good example. For anything else worth mentioning, I did my research, like the interviews and, you know, other reviews, other reviewers and their, you know, opinions and stuff. I thought that was really on point. You had we had another Discord plugin, yet this was a much more modern approach to it, for two reasons. Number one, I had the Paper Mario Color Splash, like, battle, what do you call it, animation, which is very similar to the animation I use now with the, you know, just with Paper Mario the Origami King. I use, you know, the Paper Mario Color Splash, so that is very similar. And the second thing that is similar are the spelling mistakes. I misspelled server as sever. Forgot the first R, and it doesn't matter how many times you look, there's always a spelling mistake. And this video starts it. So yeah, the modern Discord plugin, and we're really getting in there. The ending is one thing I really need to mention. I like it a lot. Obviously with you had the transition, the boss transition, but like how I pulled the other reviewers, the music, and how dramatic I made it. And to some people it might seem corny, but I really like it. I don't know, I really like this ending scene. But yeah. Oh, speaking of that transition, I cropped that myself. You can't just look up, you know, Paper Mario the Origami King transition. Maybe someone made one on YouTube. I don't know. But like, you know, when the game first came out, I that wasn't a thing, right? And so I actually went and cropped it myself. Basically made my own quote unquote green screen, if that makes sense. Took a lot of time, probably took a solid 2 or 3 hours, but it looks really nice. And that's also the reason I use it so much, is because I want to it's just, I spend so much time on it. But yeah. Oh, again, back to the ending. I know I'm hopping back and forth between everything. You'll have to forgive me. But with the reviews, little subtle details that the reviews get progressively more and more critical. Like, it's a little vague. We're like, oh, it's not really like specific characters. But then like it slowly gets into like, there's no characters. It ruins the charm. The characters are what made Paper Mario. That was a cool little detail. And yeah, from an actual review standpoint, the point I was trying to make was better, like, talked about when Arlo made his review. He made a review on Paper Mario the Origami King. I had the right idea, but I don't think I just knew how to really write it like convey my words effectively. You know, we're still getting the swing of things of writing and writing and the scripting part. But overall, good video. All right, now we're moving on to the Angry Birds Epic video, and this was not supposed to get big. This video really hit it big. You know, it's one of my biggest videos on the channel, and this was supposed to be, again, I'm gonna put in quotes, filler video. By this point, I was planning out Danerade month, right, for October. This came out early September, and you know, it's just like a 10 minutes, and I obviously still put a lot of time and effort into it, but there are just some videos that are inherently easier to make, and you know, this was one of them. The intro was made by Mando, one of my art, I guess reoccurring animators. This was the first one he made. Super nice guy. I commission him and I pay him very well, and he's a very nice person. But anyways, this was his first intro that he made for me, and I really like it, and I really appreciate it. I used it actually quite, a couple times afterwards. And then, back to the actual video itself. Very unique and good topic. From a unique and creative aspect, I really like this one. Angry Birds Epic, I seriously thought was forgotten by time. I replayed it. I didn't even replay it for a video. I actually I made the video because I had replayed it. I was like, this game is really fun now that I think about it. But it's the game is good. I'm so sad that, well, okay, I was about to say I'm sad it was forgotten, but I guess it wasn't, because a lot of people in the comments were like, I remember this game, like, this brings back so much nostalgia, and a lot of people agree with my opinion, and that's pretty cool. Not a lot, well, there's not a whole lot to say on the video process itself. It was pretty straightforward. We have another Discord plugin, and I used the boss transition. Discord plugins are really evolving to be what they look like now. For any other, I know some other people want me to review other Angry Birds games like Bad Piggies and some other things like that. Highly doubt it. Angry Birds Epic was like my game. I played, like a classic Angry Birds, but I don't need to really review that. So probably not gonna happen. I'm sorry. But for the last cool thing, and this happened actually many months later, I would say, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months after the video came out, the developers commented on it, and they, on their official YouTube account, and yeah, they were really impressed. They were like, wow, we love the video. I don't remember their comment exactly. We love that. We love reading all the positive comments and all that stuff. And more importantly, their second comment they added was they mocked that I mispronounced their company name, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know how to pronounce it correctly. It's spelled Chimera, and I said Chimera as in SH, so I'm assuming it's just Chimera Entertainment. But yeah, it's probably Chimera, but that sounds wrong to me. I don't know. Chimera is even stupider. But it was very funny. They had just a little passive-aggressive comment, like, "Oh, we're not mad at all that Danerade called us Chimera Entertainment." That was funny, and one of their developers actually joined my server and left a very nice comment, which I'll put that up on the screen for sure. Just to join and say, hey, thank you so much. I still work there and stuff like that. And very nice guy. Didn't really talk to him personally or DM, but it made my day that they went out of their way to not only comment on my YouTube channel, but to even go on my Discord server. So yeah, that was the Angry Birds Epic video. Now we're moving on to the a 4 years of Danerade video. And this video, it's interesting, right? It's kind of a reaction or look back to a lot of my older videos. And it's, I don't know, it's just a little too dated. The behind the scenes were really rough, and I'll get into that. Well, not that bad, but I will comment on the fact that the intro's cool, where I had like a call, kind of a callback to all my previous intros that I did. That was pretty cool. You also had the letters in space, which was kind of the theming and presentation I used for Danerade month. Kind of a space background with like glow lit letters. That was pretty cool. I like that part, but the actual setup was very hard. And this was supposed to go out when the Angry Birds Epic video came out, somewhere around that, but I had to reschedule because of time and people being busy, which is why I didn't come out on like an anniversary of my channel. And so, but when the day finally came, like basically everyone had like dropped out, which is why there was only 2 other people, 2 of my other friends. There was supposed to be a lot more, and that was very annoying on my part. And then, this was actually, it's funny, this was actually the first video I used my new microphone on. The microphone I'm still using right now, I got a white Blue Yeti microphone, but it almost sounds, it's almost like you can't even tell because of how bad of a room we were in from a recording standpoint. And I was so dumb because I recorded everything in one like audio file, and basically the computer audio and the mic audio was in the same I guess just because you can make settings where you record them in different I don't know what you'd call them. I can't think off the top of my head. But when you go back and edit it, they're in 2 separate audio files or not formats, but 2 separate wavelengths, let's put it that way. So you can make one, louder or quieter or any of that stuff. I didn't do that because I was dumb. I just didn't know you could really do that. And so sometimes we're too loud and sometimes the video's too loud, and that was just very annoying. Also, we weren't using headphones because of our setup. Seriously, our setup. I might even have a photo of our setup. If I can flash that on the screen, I actually might have a photo. It is bad. But anyways, we didn't use headphones, so sometimes the audio of the computer would be echoed because the microphone would pick it up. It was bad. It was bad. I don't really like watching that video. Still kind of mad about it and all that stuff. But what is it? Oh, in the Discord plugin, we had another error. It wasn't a spelling error, but I forgot to remove the outline of the letter, the glow lit letters. I don't know why I forgot that. So there we go. We got another problem. But finally, at the very end, we had the announcement of Danerade month. And Danerade month, I had actually been planning for many months, right? Because you can't flip a switch and go, I'm just gonna, upload, once a week, just for a month. So basically by the time this video came out, I think I had like the Henry Stickmin video already done, which is why I teased it, because it was like, ready to go basically. I think, or at least I was working on it. I don't know, something like that. And so, this honestly, the Danerade month was only able to really happen because of online school. And if I were to do it again in 2021, which I would like to do, I don't know how I'll get it done, but I'll figure out a way. I'll talk about Danerade month in general as we move on to the videos revolving around it. But yeah, I announced it here, and a lot of people were excited. It was just like a mini challenge I wanted to give myself. And yeah, so we had 4 videos, and the first video involving Danerade month was the Henry Stickmin video. This was definitely one of my most requested videos, by far, and it was also the use of my new microphone, excluding the last video. I still recorded it in that other, in the room I edited in, so it didn't sound amazing, but it was still better, if that makes sense. So there's a positive there. This video I don't have a lot to say. I know there were a lot of people that said this was one of their, like, my best videos because of the jokes and the format and all that stuff. I don't actually agree with that. I'm not saying this video is bad, but I don't know, it's fine. I mean, it's all relative. I think all my videos are, you know, I put in as much effort as I humanly possibly can at that point in time, but I don't know, it's fine. It's just my opinion, but still good video overall. The Discord plugin got pretty wacky. I think this was when I was really, you know, trying to go have fun with it, and I think that was a really good choice because people, I don't get this, but I made a poll, and like people on my Discord server, and people like want the Discord plugin. People actively like to see it, which is so counterintuitive to everything I like previously have thought. Because most people are like, oh no, he's saying, oh, like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter and there's a giveaway at the end of the video, you know, it's so boring, right? But like, I realize that because I make it fun and, you know, I include like viewer elements with what people say in my server and all, you know, it's very different. But I openly mock it, right? You know, I try to make it as abrupt as possible. Almost with each video it gets more and more abrupt. But it's just funny how people like really want it. Like the poll was pretty lopsided too. Like, I mean, there were a handful of people that said, you know, don't have it. But like a lot of people, the majority was just, yes, have a Discord plugin. But yeah, only other thing with mentioning the video is I had a little ending speech about why Flash games are special and, you know, why they're, you know, people are so nostalgic for them. I like that part. I thought that part was pretty well written. But that's about it with the Henry Stickmin video. Alrighty, now we're moving on to the Monopoly video. And I'm gonna defend myself and say this video is super underrated. This is another fun video. I'm a little biased because I get why people may not like it. Because it's just, you know, me and a couple friends that are just playing Monopoly and talking about whatever we want. But I think it's very wholesome, right? It's very wholesome, and I really like that, you know, for that reason. You know, it's just a couple guys enjoying Monopoly on Nintendo Switch. And it's, I mean, it was really fun to edit for me. I mean, you know, it's not, right, it was kind of like another heavy editing in a way, but I had learned so much from the last video that I think I improved it very well. And I don't know, I just think it's fun. It's just fun. Like, you don't even have to think it's funny, but I just think it's fun. You know, like I said, there was a little bit of backlash. You know, I asked people directly on my server, and some people weren't having it. Some people had some good criticism. Some people had some bad criticism. And so, you know, I took a lot of it to heart, right? But yeah, you know, video itself was good. I don't know, I'm struggling to find any like personal stories behind it, except for the fact that it's just really funny and fun to record and make. Yeah, another Discord plugin. It made no sense, like the transition. It was like, while our players take a break, by the way, and it's like, then boom, Discord plugin. Very funny. Again, it doesn't make any sense, but I love it for that reason. But yeah, Monopoly for Nintendo Switch video. Again, very short, but again, I don't have anything really to mention about it, except for the fact that my friends say they want to make a sequel. So, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We are now moving swiftly into the Battle for Neighborville video, and this video was very important to make. It was another highly requested video. People wanted to hear my opinion on Battle for Neighborville. And even though people, like, you know, most people don't like the game, I felt like it was a good compilation of why people don't like the game. Because from, you know, you could know all the points I said, but they would all come from like different people and different sources and reasons, different reasons and all that stuff. But this was just one video taking a review and just smashing it all together. And so I really like it for that reason. you know, we had this was the biggest video of Danerade month. It was you know, like 24 minutes long. It's not perfect. We have a lot of clips errors, a lot of frame drops, and so I'll tell you why that happened. The main reason is that just Adobe couldn't handle when you play the video in playback, it just really couldn't handle it, you know, the video for some reason sometimes, and it would get choppy. And because the editing software was making it choppy, I couldn't tell if the actual video was choppy, like the video files were choppy. I didn't check through all of them because there's only like specific cases and specific parts that were choppy. So a little, you know, it's not right. There's some blame to put on me, of course, but that's why those you know, a lot of the clips were choppy. With the points I made within the video, I agree with a lot of them. I still, you know, the game's not that good. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people, they like that game. If you like it, good for you. But it gets boring way too quickly. It's just, I get frustrated with a lot of its elements and gameplay quirks and just bugs and glitches. It's just not fun for me. Had a lot of good ideas. Story mode was so good, and just the multiplayer was unchanged, which is a good and bad thing. And you know, they pushed the microtransactions a little too hard, and the game just died. It was, you know, no marketing. That was so stupid. Except for that amazing trailer they had, there was like no marketing in that game, and that was such a shame. That was very sad to see. A lot of people I knew that had Garden Warfare 1 and Garden Warfare 2, or even like, you know, they at least knew about it, didn't know that this game existed. Not at all. And so, but the weird thing is that it's getting a Switch port now, which is actually a point of confusion within the community, in the fact that a lot of people are like, oh wow, you know, Switch port, you know, well, I mean, most people don't care because the game's bad, but you know, I guess they're kind of surprised. You know, there was leaks and stuff like that, but guys, like EA, I think it was like on Twitter, literally said the game was like coming to Switch like 2 years ago or whatever. So, you know, and granted, you know, people can infer maybe, oh, you know, the game didn't sell well, so they just canceled the port. But I wasn't surprised. I don't know who's working on this port though, because I'm like 99% sure most of the original team has like been moved on or laid off or something. So I have no idea who's. I think, yeah, PopCap Vancouver is like completely butchered now. So I have no idea who's working on the port. The port job itself, I know, like, okay, I don't know, you know, it's made with the Frostbite 3 engine, which is really, making games for Frostbite 3 is by my memory really complicated and hard. And I'm sure it's really impressive on a technical level, but I don't know, it just looks you know, the Switch isn't powerful, I get it. But it just looks Yeah, you know, it's what, 900p, 30 frames per second, which was to be expected, but I don't know, it's fine, I guess. Will I be buying it? Nope. I don't know why I would, but I just kind of wanted to mention that about the Switch port, because I mean, I guess I know why it exists, but at the same time, it's just like the game's dead. Well, you know, it seems like another way to recoup the losses, you know, the financial investment that EA put into the game, just, you know, shoehorn it, you know, put it on Switch, make a complete edition, you know, for some reason remove the microtransactions, which is it's a positive, right? But I don't know, that port just doesn't make any sense to me. I think that's coming out as I'm recording this in like a week or two, something like that. But the last thing within the video itself, because I know I talked about the Switch port a lot, is I said when there was a scene where I was talking about the boss roulette, the slot roulette, and I said determine the word determine in a weird way. Even boss waves, a roulette would be spun to determine the bosses you would be going against. And I don't know why I said it like that. I know, random thing to point out, but I don't know why I said it like that. And, okay, here's the thing, actually. At the ending, right? And this actually is a transition into the next video, but at the ending I had dry paper Bowser be teased. And that was because right at this point in the story, I mean, I was basically making it up as I went. It wasn't very structured at all. And Dry Paper Bowser was supposed to have a much bigger role within the story, but that didn't end up turning out. And I still wanted him in the next video, but yeah, he was supposed to have a bigger role. So he really, I mean, is he part of the lore? I guess, but it's not really. But speaking of, you know, transitioning and the lore, right, the next video is very interesting because I have quite a few tidbits to talk about, particularly with the lore scenes, but I'll try to talk about the video itself first. What's fun about this video is that the original concept was supposed to be on more of a big, I guess, kind of recap and retrospective of the series. And then LS Mark made a whole hour-long video on the same idea, and I was like, I guess we're rewriting the script. So I think I was like halfway through the script, so I just trashed it and rewrote it to focus around Scott Cawthon. And I thought that was actually a really good direction and idea to make the video on. But yeah, I got completely thrown for a loop, and I was like, dang it, Ellis Mark. Why you gotta do this to me? Ellis Mark is another YouTuber, by the way. I've never talked to him. I don't know. You know, he just probably doesn't even know that I exist, but just want to mention that. We have, in the intro, we have another Mando intro. That rhymed. And so, did that rhyme? No, that didn't rhyme. What am I talking about? Anyways. With the, you know, dry Bowser and with the moon and all that stuff. Love that intro. That intro was it was fun to kind of brainstorm ideas. And yeah, we have it was funny too because when people were, and then after that you had the warning of you know, watch this video. Because it's like, oh, but, you know, wait, that was the video with the Wilsons. Is there, wait, is there Wilson lore in this video? No, it's like, oh, you know, you better find out, right? Again, we'll get to that in a second. Talking about FNAF, though, I really wanted to make this video because FNAF was, like, my generation, right? You know, I grew up in the generation of FNAF of, you know, little kids getting excited about Freddy Fazbear killing kids, you know, all that stuff. And so, you know, I wanted to give my viewpoints and ideas, and obviously talked about it in a very interesting direction, talking about more Scott Cawthon. But yeah, and you know, I talked about the games and what I thought about them, which somewhat I talked about I guess the general consensus. But I'm gonna tell you right now my opinion on some of the games, not all of them. FNAF 2 is extremely overrated. I don't think it's that good. It retreads too much of the first game, and yeah, I mean, it's fine, but people put out like number 2, number 3, number 4, I'm like, no, the FNAF 2 was like definitely in the bottom 3 for me. It's fine. Like, I would put FNAF 3 over FNAF 2. That's, I know, very controversial. What else? We got Sister Location. It's good. Just kind of, I don't really like the gameplay that much. It's okay. It's too repetitive. Like when you play, like if you play again, and yeah, granted, okay, the original structure of Five Nights is repetitive. But, like, if you play Sister Location again, you will, like, already know exactly how it's gonna play out. And I can't call it, like, it's still one of the better FNAF games with the voice acting and all that stuff. But, like, for example, I probably prefer Pizzeria Simulator. I actually have pretty controversial opinions on the FNAF games I like. Which I would have talked about in the original version / script of the FNAF video. But yeah, I probably like Pizzeria Simulator a little more. FNAF Sister Location, still good because of the new characters, and it's a very different direction for the series. But oh, and the last thing, FNAF Help Wanted, very good. So half-baked in a lot of cases though. Like, it has so much potential, and the fact that, you know, they didn't do like the FNAF 6 animatronics, and I don't know, they reused the Withers for the FNAF Halloween DLC, because, well, the fact that they didn't even have the Withered animatronics in the FNAF 2 FNAF 2, and they had FNAF 1 Foxy originally, I don't like that. That was not good. I don't know, I think they get too much credit for that game being like amazing, which it's good. I think you could arguably call it the best FNAF game, but just not a fan of some of the elements. They reuse a lot of sound effects too. That bothers me too. But okay, we're gonna talk about the lore though, the Wilson scenes, and the first very important and notable thing is the House of Dane logo, and I actually made that logo myself. I actually have the original file. I'm gonna put it up on screen. This is actually the colored version, which you wouldn't normally know. But yeah, I made that myself, and I was originally gonna keep it House of Mouse, but I want to give myself a challenge though. But it was very fun to make, but it was really that was really hard, because obviously I had to make it get somewhat of a right font for it, because, you know, the House of Mouse logo is not a font, it's drawn. And then another hard part was the static. The static in the original has this interesting blue color to it, and I wanted to recreate it as much as possible. But it's not, you know, video editing, some of those elements like color distortion is a lot harder than it is on photo editing. So you have to mix and match colors, and I was really changing the contrast and brightness and things of colors and blues and greens and reds. And I mean, it looks like the final product looks like really solid, but it's funny how that small scene, those couple seconds, took a long time, but I thought it was very worth it. So just fun little, you know, it's fun little detail. These scenes, you know, I've made a handful of them, and you'll be seeing a couple more. You'll be seeing more like these scenes in the future. You know, longer, more complex, but like this scene with the, you know, I mean, there's two occurrences, but we'll just talk about the last minute and like 15 seconds. It is very complex. Like, how smooth it is, I take a lot of pride in that. It is very smooth how I edit the faces and stuff upon everything of like Wilson and the, you know, my profile picture, but it is very hard and time consuming. Which is a hard part for some of these videos, because it's like, if I add lore, it's like, no, you're not done. You still gotta spend a handful of hours on the lore part. But it turned out very well. I did stay up. That was the latest I stayed up for a video though. I stayed up very late because I had to get it out on Halloween. And I mean, I technically would have been done, but I wanted to go all out for the lore part at the end. And so to explain the complexity, not only again, you have to realize that the faces in the moving is basically like frame by frame. I know you can set keyframes and all that stuff, which I still do, but you know, it moves so quickly to where, you know, you can't. I don't really want to bore you bore you with my words, but there's a lot more that goes into it than what may seem. And a good example is this scene right here with Woodrow Wilson and his staff. So think of it this way, right? This shouldn't make sense, because when you layer an image upon the original video, it's going to cover the staff. But what I did is I would crop out Woodrow Wilson's head frame by frame, and it gives it the illusion that the staff is in front of him. And I did this a lot. Another occurrence is the fireball. The fireball was so annoying. You know, if you're really looking, it looks a little rough. But, right, yeah, I had to, like, crop the fireball out when Woodrow Wilson was holding up his staff for this scene. And like those sorts of tiny details are what, you know, take so long, but are so worth it. Like, my goal in all these, and what I tell people when I tell them about this, are like, I didn't even notice. And that's the goal, is that you don't notice it. Because if you don't know, like, if it's so smooth, then like mission accomplished. You made your audience and your viewers so like invested, and you know, they're so intrigued by it, if that makes sense, that when they're watching it, they were so convinced by it. I think that's cool. Yeah, that's some of the behind the scenes editing of that. And the actual footage of itself, I said House of Mouse, right? I didn't really give any context. That's a show from Disney Channel in the early to mid 2000s. But the actual footage comes from a direct-to-DVD movie they did called Disney's House of Villains. I paid $4 because I wanted to get the best quality footage. I paid $4 for that. That was kind of funny. But, so that's where the footage came from. And, yeah, that ended Danerade month. That Danerade month was very hard. It took a lot of time, and it took a lot of planning. And, you know, that month was really busy for obvious reasons, right? But you know what? I thought it was worth it in the end, right? I like to give myself many challenges. And, you know, my audience definitely loved it. You know, it was just, you know, getting a Danerade video once a week. But, you know, that's just humanly impossible going forward, right? That took many months of planning, of, like, doing videos ahead of time and stuff like that. And even, you know, even with that planning, right, I barely got the last video out on time. And, but I don't regret it. I do not regret it at all. I am very happy with how it turned out. Will I do it again in 2021? I'd like to, but I can't confirm. So that was Danerade month, and that was the FNAF video. Alright, so now we're moving on to the Mario 3D All-Stars video. And despite what it might seem, the timeline, like, this video was actually made in a, like, very quickly. And I'll tell you why. Because even though I took, what, about 7 weeks to do it, right? You know, I actually said in a community post I'd be taking a break. My break was honestly like a week, because I realized, oh crap. So here was what my timeline ended up turning out to be. Beat 64 in a week, beat Sunshine in a week, beat Galaxy in a week, write and record in a week, and then edit within 2 weeks. And half of that editing happened during finals week. So like, this video happened pretty quickly, especially for being 45 minutes long. You know, this was a huge project that I had been planning since September. You know, when I was thinking about Danerade month and all that stuff, I knew afterwards that I wanted to end the year off with a bang. And so I had a very clear vision for it, for the idea. You know, I wanted another fun intro like the Paper Mario the Origami King video. I even had a storyboard for it, which I'll put up on the screen right now. You know, I wanted to hire multiple animators and all that stuff. Even the logo, right? I had someone draw the, you know, Super Mario 3D, you know, All-Stars part. You might seem like I just looked it up on like Google or something, but no, I actually just hired someone to draw that. So that was cool. And then we had the actual intros and animators, and that's a super fun story because I got screwed over. So we have we have Mando, who did their part. Mando, he did it on time. That was fine. And then, but the other two instances of the piano and the picking up the game part, I had two other animators. So the piano part, that animator, okay, for context, I reached out to people like early November, and this video was coming out like late December, so like plenty of time, even though it was only like 5 seconds long. Piano person just like never, kept on saying they were busy and all this stuff, but just like never, you know, it basically ended up ignoring, like in the last like week or so, when the video was supposed to come out, just like flat out ignored me. And I was like, I realized that I was just like crap. So I couldn't find an animator in time, so I just did my own editing for that one. But I got screwed over there. And as for the other scene, I actually did have another animator, and they were animating it. Now you'll have to excuse me. You know, everyone has different quality levels, but you can count on me when I say it did not look very pretty. It took them like a month and a half to get this, you know, just very rough 5 seconds, and it was just. It looked like a colored storyboard. Let's put it that way. It's like they made a storyboard. You know, just like, you know, storyboard is, you know, just like rough sketches. They colored it, and, you know, and just called it. There was like no background. There was no background. They had, you know, it was just rough looking, man. It was rough. And then they sent it to me, you know, because I actually paid them. I didn't, you know, I was like, you know what, you put time into it. You just keep the money. But they sent it to me like on New Year's Eve, I think. Because I remember I was going out to dinner and like I got an email, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like 2 months later, you know, like the video already came out. It was kind of funny. I was just like, okay, thanks. But anyways, I got another. Anyways, when I realized that was not gonna look very well, I got another animator who animated it in like a day and a half. Seriously, I was like, I need something ASAP. And that turned out pretty well. Like, you know, they got the paper bow, you know, not the paper bows, just Paper Mario style very well. So yeah, intro saved, yay! So that was the intro. In the beginning part, you know, we had the emulation where I was like, ugh, you know, I was like, ooh, emulation. And I got a handful of comments like, you realize emulation is legal, right? Do you not like emulation? I will save that hopefully for a future video, but I have I'm in the controversial opinion in the fact that I'm not a huge fan of emulation. It's very complicated because, you know, I'm not a lawyer, and, you know, the whole debate is hard, right? And you know, it warrants a discussion on its own, which is why I'm staying kind of vague about it. But I'm not the biggest fan of it. And so that's why I said it like that. But like I said, I might save that for another video. And another thing, not for the intro, but near when the video actually starts, you'll notice that Bowser transition with the Paper Jam boss transition. So that was yet another challenge I set for myself, kind of like the Paper Mario the Origami King thing. That transition, you know, is another transition. That transition took 7 hours to make, though. 7 hours, Danerade. That sounds like an extreme, like, why did it take 7 hours? Because of all, you know, it spikes, and there's like 5 spikes or whatever. The, whatchamacallit? Because of how many, you had to really go nitty gritty, and you have to do it frame by frame, right? And because even though it moves just a little bit, I like to redo the cropping every frame because it just looks the best. And that's why that took so long, but it turned out so beautifully. Like, it's just, mwah, I love it. I kind of regret it in some ways because, again, that 7 hours could have been put toward the video itself to making it look even better. But I made that myself, so that's another transition, another quote-unquote green screen I made, I guess. This is also the first video I had brand new, actual good sounding audio. I recorded it in the same room I'm in right now. That was a huge, just like, stepping stone for me. Huge, just making the audio just sound so much better. So that was nice. We had, within the context of the contents of the video itself, we had a little animated bit with like Nintendo and Reggie and all that stuff. That was really fun to edit. Sunshine, some people didn't like that I said it was kind of bad. I don't really like Sunshine. I don't think it's that good. I'm sorry. I still kind of stand by my opinion. We had another Discord plugin. And so with that, you know, in the last couple of videos, like the the Battle for Neighborville one and the FNAF video, there actually wasn't a Discord plugin. And that's because I reached, you know, I wanted to appease to both sides, because some people genuinely didn't want a Discord plugin. And so my strategy is that if a video is roughly over 20 minutes, if it's a longer video, I would have a Discord plugin. And if it's like a regular, you know, 10-15 minute video, I wouldn't have a Discord plugin. So basically, you know, like any video over 20 minutes long has a Discord plugin. For this video, you know, I've been doing this for a while, but I captured all my own footage, which this was my, like, the first, I guess, really big video I used my capture card for my Switch. You know, I had, you know, different, you know, I had to capture footage for 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, but I was, you know, a lot of planning involved in that, right? I feel like capturing footage is just kind of like a given, like, oh, you know, it's just playing the video game, right? No, there's a lot that goes to it. Turned out really well, though, because, you know, right, you got the best quality from doing it yourself, and you don't have to, you know, you can claim that it's your own. And so that was really nice. The main drawback that people find with the video is the jokes, and I actually agree with that criticism. Some people thought it was funny, and you're like, oh, you know, I liked it, Danerade, but a handful of people weren't a fan of it, and I actually agree with that. The jokes could have been executed a lot better. You know, I took that criticism to heart, and you know, learn from your mistakes, right? For the other two things I wanted to mention, we have the Nutcracker part with the music. You know, it was around Christmas time, and I was listening to the Nutcracker, and I was like, there are some things in videos where I listen to it or I get inspiration, and I'm like, I'm gonna include that in the video, and that was one of them. And I didn't get demonetized somehow. I don't know how. That's kind of nice. But one thing I wanted to clarify was when I talked about my photo, if that makes sense, when I said, you know, when my box art is even better, I said a little edit in the video where I said, you know, this photo was made like 3 months ago, by the way, because it's, you know, I could make a way better looking one with the skills I have now. But the main point I was trying to come across is that I can make a box art that looks so similar, and I wouldn't say better, but you know, just so similar. It was just so uninspired. So that was the point I was trying to make. And the final thing is the ending animation bit, which I still love so much to this day, which was actually an accident, because when I was requesting animators, I accidentally forgot to basically say, oh, you know, like it's closed, you know, I have my animators. And someone, you know, reached out to me and said, hey, you know, you're still looking for an animator? And at first I was just gonna say, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I already found them. But I just kind of had that idea of just an end credits and little loop animation. And I was like, yeah, like, you know what, I can do this. And you know, I told them about the idea, and it turned out really well. Like, I really like how they did it, and I feel so bad because I almost feel like I didn't pay them enough. I think I gave them like a tip too. I'm like, hey, Merry Christmas, my guy. You know, take this extra cash. But I love that animation bit. It's so fun. You know, I like to invest in those little animated bits, and you know, little details like that, because I mean, like with that video, like I'm not gonna make my money back on that, but like I don't care about that. I don't do it, you know, I don't have to make a fun intro. I don't have to hire animators or artists to do these kinds of things. But I still want to, like, even with this video, the art you're looking at right now, you know, I still do it because if it makes the video that little bit better, then it automatically offsets the costs in my eyes. So that's why I do that a lot. And that was the 3D All-Stars video, though. Still my biggest project to this day. I'm very proud of it, right? Took a lot of time scripting, and any video that just the longer it goes, the more and more time and dedication you gotta put into it. But I'm still very proud of it. I'm still very happy how it turned out. Okay, Pac-Man video. We're finally in 2021, and we've almost been talking for an hour and a half at this point, and we're getting there. I swear. This video, I'm happy about. It's different. It's just it's a nice classic. I just say Danerade video. Doesn't do anything absolutely crazy or amazing, and the style and how I wrote it was a little different. It went for a much more, analyzing approach, but I really liked that part about it. I played it safe with the jokes after, from the last one. There's still jokes in there, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to lean more on the analytical aspect of it, if that makes sense. I think I even mentioned this in the video itself, but this was supposed to be a sequel. I was supposed to talk about the sequel, Pac-Man Championship Edition 2. And I mean, there's plenty to talk about in that game, but I wanted to talk about the original because, I mean, I've kind of noticed with the topics I talk about on my channel are somewhat lesser known and less modern. I mean, there's obviously exceptions like Battle for Neighborville, 3D All-Stars, Henry Stickmin, all that stuff. And you can even argue Henry Stickmin is a asterisk because, that's a remake. It's, it's based off of games from the early 2010s. But, I've just tended to notice that I go for a little bit older and shed some light on some, good or bad games, right? And talk about them. But, so yeah. The funny thing about recording footage for this video was that on Discord specifically, I actually had to go offline a lot more because I didn't want anyone seeing, when Discord says, like playing, Pac-Man Championship Edition, DX Plus. I didn't want that to happen, so I would go offline a lot, which was kind of funny. We had the egg bit. Where I slammed the egg down on the photo of Pac-Man Championship Edition 2. That was very stressful because, I mean, I could technically do a retake, but I just didn't want to, and I only had like one take. And the only thing that surprised me was the sound of it. I guess it depends on what material it's gonna land on, but it was a very. It was a softer sound, if that makes sense. It almost sounded sped up, but it wasn't. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, the actual game itself, play it. It's so fun. I love that game. It's so fun. Classic good video. Oh, and then the one impressive thing though is the thing with the Bandai Namco logo. So not only the transition of Namco and like the Bandai part like twirling together and it it transitioned, like combining the two, but the movement of the letters changing like in between the size increasing was like really hard because I had to do all this editing and manipulation to make it come off so smooth. But I love that bit. Again, it seems so small, but it's those details where if it's so smooth you don't notice it. That's okay that if it took so long, in my opinion, because again, there's a lot of ways to cut corners and make the editing a lot more basic and simplistic. But for those times, I think it really shines and it really benefits like I said, even if it benefits the video just a little bit, it's a win in my book. So anyways, that's the Pac-Man video. Moving on to the Nintendo Land video. This video, the intro I had was a little ironic. Here, I'm gonna start with another personal story. I was talking to someone, in person that knows about my channel, and they gave me a good, piece of advice or suggestion about keeping your intro shorter. Because, right, if you're a new viewer, sometimes you're like, oh, another 50-second Danerade intro, right? And it was funny because I was like, that's true, right? And I actually took that advice into the the multiplayer video because the intro, it's like different and unique, right? It's new, but it's only like 10 seconds long or something. But it was just kind of ironic because like while they're talking, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, my new video's intro is like 50 seconds long. Whoops. But the actual intro itself, the reason I get a couple questions of why I seem so cinematic, if that makes sense. I mean, I do it because it's fun. That's the main reason. But I like doing these fun intros because it just keeps things fresh. Not every video is gonna have a unique intro. Sometimes I don't have an idea. Sometimes I don't have time to hire an artist or any of that. That can get expensive, right? But I just like doing them. I don't know. It's fun. It keeps things, like I said, it keeps things fresh. But the inspiration for this one, I watched the movie called Trading Places. You have like Eddie Murphy in that movie. There's an act, he's in it. But anyways, the intro, I'll actually play it on screen right now, is very, very similar to my intro, and that's where the inspiration came from. Not only the same song, the song is a little different. I pulled a different recording, a higher quality recording of it, but the Paramount / Danerade, the Paramount logo, which turned out to be the Danerade logo, it looks very similar. Even the font choice with the shadows and all that stuff, I made to be very reminiscent of it. So that's where the inspiration came from, if you were wondering. But what's most impressive about this video, in my opinion, is the fact that it was 25 minutes long, and I got it out within 2 weeks, which it's still extremely impressive, but I'm gonna put an asterisk to that because the script and all the footage was actually done way back in November, because this was supposed to come out in November as the video before the 3D All-Stars video. But again, I had freaked out and I was like, oh crap, I just don't have time to make that video. So, I set it aside, right? So, I had the script and the footage done, but still, audio and the editing aspect, I actually revised the script to make it even better, which is why I think it's one of my most polished and sharpest scripts yet so far. But still, 25 minutes for 2 weeks is still like crazy impressive, and I'm really proud of it. Still hard, and I had to, I think, delay it by a day, but still, I'm very happy that it came out on time. Within the video itself, some people mentioned I mispronounced Monita, where I don't even know how you correctly pronounce it. I don't know. Some people said I pronounced it wrong. I don't know what the right way is, but that was kind of funny. I'm just gonna say how I want to say it. I love Monita. Anyways, as the actual character stuff, I love Monita. I love the game. Like I said, if you don't have the game and if you have a Wii U, just please buy it. It is really fun. When I recorded footage for it and got my friends over, I love that. I love playing it with them. It was such a joy. Definitely the hardest part of the video was the gamepad footage. When I recorded the gamepad footage, I didn't have my friends over, so I kind of had to make do with what I had and, try my best to just make it work, if that makes sense. And obviously correlate it with the TV screen and the gamepad footage, making sure they're on, by the millisecond, basically, they're on point, so they're not delayed, the footage isn't delayed within one another. Still turned out very well, though. This is the first video with 2 Discord plugins. 2, not 1, but 2. I actually did this for the sole reason that I wanted to finish the most of the song, because I didn't want to make the Discord plugin like 50 seconds. I don't know. Just breaking it up seemed funnier, and I wanted to end it on like that da da da, that last tune on that song. It's actually not the end of the song. It's like midway through. But that that was funny, and then there's an end at the very end. There's a point where the Nintendo Land drapes or something come on in. Had to crop that out. I mean, that wasn't that hard to crop out, but that was a nice little nice little detail at the end. I like that part. Most people probably didn't see that because they exited out of the video by then, but that was fun. I'm gonna just kind of tease this and say that there's an Easter egg in that video that has not been found by my knowledge. So if you want, go in that video and look around a little harder and you might find something fun. So winky face. Okay, we're gonna actually not talk about the multiplayer video, but instead the Plants vs. Zombies versus mode tournament I participated in, which I actually do consider an upload rather than a stream because of how long the planning was. You know, I didn't have to write a script or anything, but I mean, I'm just gonna get into it. Okay, I'll say this though, I won't talk a lot about it because I might make it into a future video. And I mean, if you guys want that, you guys could say something in the comments, but I'd like to make it into a future video, but I haven't decided if I want to do that yet, so I don't want to talk about too many details. But I will talk about the behind the scenes and the coordination, and that part was extremely hard. You had all these creators, which I'll get to, they're very nice people. I do want to talk about that part in a bit. You had all these creators, and they all have different time zones and different different schedules, and even within when we were talking, you know, it's P4P set up the event. He admitted, he's like, if Danerade wasn't here, this thing probably wouldn't have happened. I coordinated all the schedules and stuff when I was at home and in school and all that stuff. I was constantly, you know, updating and on point with that, trying to be as active as possible. So I played a very huge role in just getting the thing to get set up. It wasn't perfect, right? You know, if I wasn't hosting it, so I didn't have a lot of like decisions or you know, didn't have a lot of leeway in some of the decisions that were made. But for what I was able to get done, honestly, you know, that was nice. And obviously, even practicing, right? I would stay up really late, even on school nights, just practicing, because I wanted to win the tournament, right? And we'll get there. The streams themselves, of course, we have oh boy, my oh wait, Danerade, you're using an emulator. What's going on here? I know you can call me a hypocrite. My TLDR is that I'm not gonna say no to an event just because, oh, we have to use emulators. I'm not gonna join. My point in not really liking emulators is I don't care if you use them or not. I just don't like the fact that people think they're legal, because in my opinion they're not, and I think I have a valid case to say that they're not. But anyways, moving on from that, of course we have the emulators crashing, which my guess is the fact that streaming on YouTube, running the emulator, and one other thing I can't remember, just all the CPU just couldn't handle it, if that made sense. Which is probably and recording. Was I recording? Oh no, I wasn't recording. I was streaming it, but never mind. It was just too much for the CPU to handle, which I probably makes sense because it had never crashed beforehand. But finally, when we got the streams working, extremely fun. Talking to the chat, I mean, it was intense. If you were there, it was intense. During not second stream, first stream, I had a little Aladdin bit I animated, you know, which people thought were part of the lore, which was kind of funny. It's not, by the way. But that was super fun. That was super fun to make. You know, animating Shy Guy Mask and It's P4P and myself. And then when we won the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and I actually got to the finals, and I lost miserably by Shy Guy Mask. Oh, God, we don't talk about that. I lost, but again, I'd like to go into more details about this video, or the event itself in a future video. Don't know if I will, but so like I said, planning was hard, but overall extremely fun. All the people in there are so nice. I got to talk to creators, like, you know, the biggest one obviously being Shy Guy Mask, and you had others like It's P4P and Redhead Gaming. You know, I didn't talk to the Super, who's a speedrunner on Twitch. I didn't get to talk to all of them as much. I probably talked to Shy Guy Mask the most. Someone like, I think Redhead Gaming, barely any interaction with. Just because of time and planning and time zones and stuff like that. But, to everyone I talked to, extremely nice people. I would love to work with them again in other circumstances or for any other projects. But yeah, that was kind of in a nutshell, the Plants vs. Zombies vs. Mode tournament. Finally, we are here to the final video. As of right now, as of recording, the multiplayer video. And this video, I very much like, for the fact that it was much more of a general topic, right? It wasn't on a specific game. It was on a general topic, which I like to dive into more a little bit. I'm still going to keep the main focus on games for sure. The next video is going to be on a game, but, I try something new. Change is important. Change is good. The intro, right? The fun little intro. You'd be shocked. That took very long because each of the photos I moved frame by frame. So that took a while, but that was fun. That was fun to make, the one-winged angel music in the background. The actual scripting and structure was a little looser, which I was surprised I wasn't really criticized on, or maybe I was, I don't know, maybe no one really mentioned it. I went for a much more looser approach. It was just fun. It was just kind of fun to do that. I didn't have to, I could have, I knew going in that I probably should have kept it more focused, but like I said, I just kind of want to make it fun. And so, a lot of people didn't like my Apex joke I made about, who likes Apex Legends? Not everyone was super fond of me talking about that. I'm sorry, I didn't really literally mean it. I've never played Apex Legends. I don't know if it's an actual good game or not. For context, I don't like EA, so that was kind of part of the joke. But it was just kind of funny reading some comments being like, this video was good, but you dissed on Apex Legends. How dare you? So that was a funny bit. But hands down, my favorite part of this video and what it stands for is in the middle where I don't have a Discord plugin, but I have the Minecraft part where it's like, Danerade, subscribe to Danerade, and then the guy's like, just do it. That was so, I crack up every time I see that. I don't know, I'm very proud of that. That was very funny to me. At the end, we have the lore bit. That was like, all the lore bits are super fun to edit. But that was especially fun, especially with the Mickey Mouse scene. The lore it's a little bit of a slower pace right now, but the main reason I'm doing that is because I have to really build up stakes for the rest of the year. It's gonna pick up in Steam, I promise. But yeah, this video is just a solid video all around. And not much to say on it. I can't really look back upon it because I just made it recently, but that's the last of the videos themselves. Next up, I just kind of wanted to point out some points that I've been holding in the back of my mind for a while now. And to start off, this is probably the biggest point, and that's making a Patreon. I've had, not in my comments, but particularly in my server, have had a lot of people comment and ask about it. And my answer is a big fat no. I do not feel comfortable asking people for money. There's a reason why super chats are turned off on streams, but I don't feel comfortable. And look, I'm not trying to pity anyone who has a Patreon. People, right, there are genuine creators that depend on Patreon, and that's completely fine. But it doesn't apply for my case. And right, the biggest argument against what I'm trying to say is, well, with the Patreon, right, if just because you don't need it, people can donate out of their love and they want to support you as a creator, and not just because, oh, you desperately need it. And that's fine, but like I said, I don't need the money. I don't do YouTube for the money. If I did YouTube for the money, I would have quit long ago. And I just simply don't need it. And I think there's this kind of general idea that you know, if people, and it's true for some people, but like if I donate, then like more videos will be made. No, it just doesn't work like that. I can't work any faster than I am right now unless I like quit school, which, sorry, that's not an option. It's just like, you know, the videos can't really just get like any faster, right? This is like it's a big hobby of mine, don't get me wrong, I take it very seriously, but it's just, I don't need it, right? And even then, right, I obviously have to offer something to make it to make it worthwhile, and I don't want to lock incentives behind a paywall. And like, it's funny because even this video you're listening to right now probably would be a Patreon exclusive if I had a Patreon. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it probably would have been. And I just think Patreons are, I don't know, people start them when they're too small. Like, if you ask me, like, right now, I think it's a little too small as a creator to start them. And just, some creators are just like, oh, well, I guess the extra cash would be nice. Just start up a Patreon, right? But I just don't feel that way. I don't know how people can. And again, it's purely based on perspective. Some people don't look at it that way. Like, at taking someone else's money. People look at it as, we want to support you as a creator. But I think people start when just make a Patreon when they're too small. And I think this is definitely it. This is not a this, I might change my mind. I might honestly, if I honestly need the money, if I financially am at, a worry, if that makes sense, then yes, I will consider it, right? I will ask for your support, but at the moment, I do not feel comfortable and do not have any plans of starting a Patreon. So, I know that's kind of a bit of a ramble, bit of a negative tone to that, but that is my honest opinion about Patreons and how some creators treat it and all that stuff. The other thing, another thing is, some people have asked about collabs, and the interesting thing is that I've tried. I shot a little too high when I asked maybe people that are a little too big. I don't like to think of us all people as having a number beside us. Just because I have a smaller number, does that discredit my work? I'd like to think not. But, sadly, a lot of people think that way, and so, or maybe my email got lost in either my email was insulting to them and I have a bad use of words, or, I don't know, something like that. Or, they just weren't interested, which is fine. Attaching your name to something, which I can relate to this, which is my next point, right? Attaching your name to something is not easy, which is why, me collabing with other people, by my memory, the tournament, that's actually technically like a big collab, and I approved of that. So that was a collab, right? But actual like review collabs, I've turned other people down, and I've halted on asking other people, and I've even had offers from external sources about like Discord server, collabs, and other stuff like kind of merging communities, being very involved in others. But I've also declined those offers too, because I want to build a community like just all by myself, and say that I definitively did it, one person did it, and that one person, happened to be me. And for the 30,000 of you that have subscribed, like, we are doing this together. It's a big feat, man. It's I'm just rambling. What is this, a 2-hour mark? I know. I might be saying words and they may not mean anything to you, but I just have very strong opinions about, I guess, certain things with YouTube. Same thing with merch, right? A lot of people have asked me about it. I don't even really like YouTube merch. I don't think it's a very good idea, in my humble opinion. But Danerade, in like 2 years from now, you might have Danerade merch. That's true, I might change my mind. But, well, my biggest opinion goes back to with the Patreon thing. People just have merchandise when they're way too small. Way too small. So anyways, that's my opinion on collabs, and I guess to a certain extent merchandise. Yeah, another big point, which I mentioned with the Patreon thing, is there any way I can make more content, right? Is there any humanly possible way? And the short answer is no. I spend, days and weeks of my life doing this, but at the end of the day, it's a hobby, right? I basically treat it like a job, and I take it seriously. But it's a hobby, right? I have school, I have a life, I have after school activities, all that stuff. And right, my type of content is like hard. It's not easy to churn out super quickly. And I'm not willing to make compromises on the quality of it because I've set high standards, which I'm proud of, right? Most reviews, my style that I've finally found has centered around the fact that editing is half the fun in my videos. And reviews, it's mostly about what they say and not what you're seeing, but I want to break conventions of that. I want the editing to be fun. I want the visuals to go side by side with what I'm saying in a fun way, if that way it makes sense. And right, in a perfect world, I'd have infinite time and every video would be a masterpiece. So that, it's hard to balance how much work I need to put in each video and how much quote unquote sacrifices I need to make. And, I'm not willing to really hire, well, I've hired, like, animators and stuff, but, like, I can't draw. Like, I can't do that. If there's a skill I can't do, I'm comfortable hiring someone else. But, I mean, again, things could change, but I highly doubt, I don't want to hire someone else to write scripts for me or edit for me because it wouldn't feel like me. You shouldn't be hiring someone to copy your style, right? It should all be pure. So it's right, I'm only human, I make mistakes, right? Not all my videos are perfect. Like the Monopoly video, right? There was some backlash. And, the Mario 3D All-Stars video, there was, not only did it take a while for it to come out, but, some of the jokes and all this stuff. But, right, I'm one man, and change is important, right? Specifically regarding the Monopoly video. Change is important. I don't know, this whole YouTube metagame amazingly, right? I'd consider myself a new contender, even though I've been doing this for four and a half years. Only really the past year counts. And so, I don't always hit the mark, right? I set high expectations for every video, and not every video will be perfect in every way. But that's okay, right? It adds to the do-it-yourself, DIY approach of YouTube. But I think, by breaking kind of the conventional standards, dating way back to the fact that, making good videos with KindMaster of all things. I think it's a very important step for me to make. But again, I'm not willing to, but that takes time. And, I appreciate the overwhelming support of, like, if I have to delay a video, like, with this, right? When this comes out, it had been 3 weeks since the last video, and this isn't even like a review type video. Things have been getting busy, right? Recently with what I've been doing, but I'm not willing to just churn out. I mean, you could argue, oh, this isn't a review, this is quote unquote, low effort, but this was planned for many months, so I don't feel that way. And again, it's a nice change of pace, right? It's a nice different, having every upload be, I don't think every upload should just be a review. And it's a nice change of pace, right? You get to hear my perspectives and ideas in a very casual state. But so that's kind of my take on the matter. I really can't flip a switch and make more content. I wish, right? Danerade month, even though I uploaded, once a week, I already mentioned that was a lot to manage. And most importantly, well, not most importantly, one of the more bigger things is that, the YouTube algorithm doesn't even really like my content because of how long it takes to produce. But like I said, I wanna break conventions. I don't wanna follow the sheep and upload daily or weekly and for it to be subpar. Take my time, right? But like I said, I appreciate you all standing with me venture into this new world of YouTube, if that makes sense. But oh, and one last part with the YouTube algorithm thing. I mentioned how it doesn't like my work, and it's like, oh, well, if you're, well, you just want to get more views. There's a misconception with people, and I mean, there's plenty of people out there that are more selfish, and you know, all they want is views and money. But with me and a lot of other creators, the thing about getting views is that, at least in my perspective, I don't need the views just because I want more money. I do it because I want my hard work to go out to more people, and that's very important for me, because, you know, you spend so much time on a video, and if it doesn't, you know, if it doesn't perform, and if it doesn't, and if, like, no one sees it, that's very discouraging. But I'm at a state where, you know, I have consistent people who are actively excited and who are looking forward to videos, and that, like, instantly is enough for me to push through it and, like, make a video every time. So anyways, that's me. That's like I said, that's my opinion on just making videos and kind of the work that goes into them. And, you know, I've already talked about some of the examples of some of the little small details, right? Like I said, if it makes the video that much little better, then it's worth it in my eyes. Another last point I want to talk about is my perspective I have, which I've, again, briefly mentioned. I come from a very unique angle because I'm a new contender in some ways, but I'm young, and I think that actually goes toward my benefit, because I'm a broken record, but I break some conventions in that aspect. I get, you know, I'm still a watcher. I still watch a lot of other YouTubers. You know, it felt like only, like, you know, yesterday to where you know, my YouTube channel was like, you know, 700 subscribers, and I was watching all the creators like Scott the Woz and Amp Lemon and all these other things. All these other creators that I love, and I still watch them, right? And I listen, I learn, I see what works and what doesn't work. And so even on Discord's a great example. I'm very casual on Discord. I talk to people. I try to be as active as possible. You know, I'm not perfect, right? I'm not on there 24/7 because of time. But, you know, I try to be engaging with my community. You know, and I think that's a benefit to me and my style. Especially when reviewing games, you get the perspective of a younger person who is still, you know, their mind's changing and they're growing up and all that stuff. And I think that, again, that adds a uniqueness aspect to it all. And, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm learning. That's the main thing, and that's a fun part of doing all this, right? I don't know how open I should be. You know, I don't feel the need to feel like open about my life or anything, which, you know, I'm opening up right now, right? I want to be transparent, clear, crystal. I just want to build a community on having fun and just doing what I do and being who I am. Some ways I feel professional, and other ways I feel unprofessional, right? So it's fun. It's fun going through the motions and learning and experiencing this all through just a different mindset than what most YouTubers are, and what most YouTubers are, who are, you know, mainly like adults, which makes sense, right? You know, I'm still in high school right now, right? I'm still experiencing all those fun pleasures. And then the final bit, which is a very specific point, is I've been compared a lot to Scott the Woz. Which, I mean, I'm not gonna deny that I love Scott the Woz. He's arguably my favorite YouTuber. You know, talks about, you know, stupid dumb Nintendo games for a living, right? And so, but I don't really change. You know, what's like, why don't I change and quote unquote be less, I guess, similar, you know, to him? And that's mainly the fact that I feel like Scott is very similar to me. Dry, sarcastic, you know, we both like Nintendo games a lot. And I'm not about to change who I am just because someone else is bigger and similar and, you know, you draw comparisons to. I feel like any channel when you start up, you know, you're gonna be compared to them. If you start making Minecraft videos, oh, you're just another Captain Sparkles, you know what I mean? And so, you know, I get it. I struggle to find my footing a little bit, sometimes a little too on the nose, and how similar it could be, right? But I don't think taking inspiration that way is a bad idea. Obviously, don't completely, like, rip it off, but I've definitely found my style, definitely more emphasis on the editing part, if that makes sense, and also just looser, you know, not fearing to add memes or any of that stuff, just having fun with it. I mean, he has fun too, don't get me wrong, but all that stuff. Okay, this is the end right here. If you've gotten this far, thank you so much for listening to my voice for over 2 hours. I am very tired right now. I've never talked for 2 hours straight into a microphone, so sorry if my voice has slowly been, like, getting, you know, less and less inspired, if that makes sense. But I want to end off on just a positive note by thanking you all for getting us here. Thank you for watching. I am just excited for the future. I'm just gonna kind of continue doing the same thing, listening to feedback and, you know, be engaging, you know, in the community tab and the videos I make and all that stuff. I do want to end by thanking a handful of people. I want to thank the YouTube friends I've made. I want to thank Viddy's Vids, who most of you probably don't even know, but just another YouTube, just another smaller YouTuber. We've gone back and forth on Discord a handful of times, and just a very nice guy. We exchange ideas and we talk about stuff. And so he's been a joy to talk to. I want to thank Coral T, who is another YouTuber I've talked to a handful of times. Another fun guy. I haven't talked to him as much, but he's another small YouTuber. Go check out his stuff. He makes some actually unique and very fun content to watch. I want to thank everyone who was in the Plants vs. Zombies vs. Mode tournament. Again, I'm not gonna act like, oh yeah, we're besties, you know. But you know, they were, like I said, very nice people to talk with and collaborate with. So all of them, you know, Shy Guy Mask, it's P for P. They were very fun to coordinate with. So thank you. Another thanks goes out to my artists that I've hired in the past: Morel, Mando, Wolfie Bro, and more importantly, Nova, who was the artist I hired for the art you're looking at the screen right now, did an excellent job. I didn't even mention this. I was supposed to mention this in the beginning. Did an excellent job of the art for this video. Very well done. I'm gonna link their description. I'm gonna link their Instagram in the description and in the comments if you're interested in commissioning them. They did an outstanding job. I mean, I don't really, like to do like shout-outs or whatnot, but I was very happy. Super nice. One of the nicest people I've ever talked to online. So thank you to them as well. I'd also like to thank a lot of my close friends. Specifically gonna talk about my friend Tyler. I mentioned him way in the beginning that I was gonna mention him later. He gave me the idea for the Plants vs. Zombies 3 video, and he's helped me record footage for anything that requires more than one person. So the multiplayer video, the PvZ versus mode montage, and and the Nintendo Land video. He's been there to help, so I greatly appreciate that. And a lot of my other closer friends that have just, helped me with some ideas and little things like that, and just support in general. I really appreciate that. And as for a final send-off, new video will be going out on next week on Sunday. And like I said, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for sticking with me all this time. This is not the end. We are gonna continue doing this together. I hope you appreciated listening to a much more casual state in and listening to my perspectives and ideas. It's a very unique experience and position to be in, that a large, some people are like, oh, 30,000 large. No. You cannot devalue that, how many people that is. Just imagine putting 30,000 people like in front of you, like in a room, like just think about that. Like, you know, I think that opens up the perspective of just how many people that is. You know, relatively, obviously, it's not like 5 million subscribers, but I don't need 5 million subscribers because I feel, you know, I like the wholesome, you know, scrappy feel, right? I feel like a very scrappy, fun YouTuber. Anyways, I'm gonna stop blabbling on. This has been Danerade speaking. Thank you for watching / listening, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.